Hello and welcome back to Pennyhill Junction and part 2 of the May update. As you can see, I've got some track down on the new baseboard. Well, this is only temporary track. This is a mix of old Pico and Hornby set track I've had for a number of years. Some of it also donated some time ago by my next door neighbour. But I thought rather than wait a couple of weeks to my birthday and I'll seed my first batch of new Pico Code 100 streamline track, I thought I'd have a little play with off golly today and just get a loop around and get some trains running. So part 1 of the May update concluded with the completion of the baseboard. As you can see here, the gaps where the beams are around here are now closed off. This was an absolute nightmare of a task. Initially I thought I'd get this all done in a single day, the Saturday prior to the bank holiday weekend. It actually ended up taking me most of the weekend. I spent a lot of time when I was preparing the baseboard construction, ensuring that all the measurements were absolutely spot on. But the problem I found here is actually my loft is not very even at all. You can see there, if you look at that rear board, you can see there, very difficult to make out. You can see it's not level. You can see at the far end the baseboard is slightly above the bottom of the board, but as we come down you can see it then drops below. So spending all that time and effort to try and ensure everything was measured absolutely perfect actually caused me a lot of problems when it comes to completing these gaps. I measured out and tried to get everything as square as possible, but it was very difficult. And in the end you can see in some areas there is still some minor gaps which I'll get filled in, but in general it's quite level. And when I have the spirit level down itself, it shows that in the main the baseboard is very level. You see one here is probably the most significant gap. That's a good 10mm gap there. Well, I'll get that filled in, and I'll cut a narrow long section of plywood to get that filled in. But more importantly, it is all level. There's still some gaps, but it is level, and I hope that will make for some nice smooth running of trains. So what I didn't go into much detail on in the previous video, in part 1 of the May update, was the construction of the baseboard in terms of how it happened. I presented a number of still images, but I think I'll just give you a very quick overview, taking this section in particular, where the loft hatch is, just to talk you through some of the work that I did for each section. So you can see around, so there's eight individual baseboard sections in total, spanning right around the room. And as you know from my previous update, the final piece of work was just to close all these gaps where the roof beams were coming through. For each individual section, initially I constructed the frame from 38mm by 63mm CLS timber studs. I've used some quite heavy bracing there to keep things nice and secure. Also some plenty of bracing across the bottom with holes cut out for cables for the bus wire and accessories, etc. And once the frame was constructed, I then cut the 12mm hardwood ply to the correct size and secured that down in place evenly with screws all the way around, and also running along the supporting beams. So as I mentioned a moment ago, as you see, 57603, pulling 3 Mark III Night Riviera sleeper coaches around this temporary track. So I've got quite a bundle of kit coming in the next couple of weeks. As I say, my birthday's fast approaching, so I've got all the track coming, Code 100 streamlined track, which will be enough to complete my first loop of the layout. Also have cork underlay, so I'm hoping I'll be in a position, as well as some dropper wires that I've purchased as well. I'm hoping I'll be in a position where I can get that track permanently fixed in place. I'm still missing a DCC controller, which I look to purchase sometime in the near future. Neither of my locos are obviously chipped with DCC decoders. I'm still running analog, but I want to get that first loop in place and fixed down before I make that transition over to DCC. So to conclude my May update, I'm going to give you an insight into my initial plans for the new layout. So this area that we're looking at now will eventually become Pennyhill Junction station. I'll start from this section here. So what will happen, so we've got the single line there, so there'll be 2 lines here, so there'll be almost level of this, probably a bit higher, so 50mm or so higher up there will be the up main line. So this section here will be the down. Just branching off out of the station into this section here will be the TMD. I haven't got my plans to hand, but the station itself, I believe, has I think 5 or 6 platforms. So the station first line will start around here, about 150mm from the backboard, and so there's going to be 4 or 5 platforms here, but also just branching out onto here will be a small siding for a 2 or 3 car DMU or EMU, and then the same thing will come from this side. There'll be a small siding coming in. This area here then will be the main station building. On the edge of the baseboard will be the road running through. This section here will then run into the station car park. And unfortunately, not much I can do with these beams. They do get in the way, as you can see. They're quite visible. So I'm a bit undecided in terms of what I want to do to cover these up, whether just to paint them a certain colour to see if they sort of integrate one way or another with the scenery on the layout, or whether I can make some sort of structure or put some buildings in place to cover them up a little bit. So any ideas? Please, really interested to hear your comments and feedback. So please do let us know if you've got any thoughts on that. As we come around a bit further, so the two lines will still run round, and this area here will be a village scene. And as we come forward, I don't have it in place yet, but this area here, I'm going to come out about 35mm and drop down probably about 100mm, and this going right across will be a canal scene. Then the idea is, because right at the back I'm going to have a upper section, and there'll be a road bridge or a viaduct coming right across the two main lines, then it'll go through the village and then come over the canal scene. Obviously the canal, maybe one or two narrow boats running down the canal. Then the two main lines will continue to run around this section, and then in this area here will be a type of fiddle yard, but I may put some scenery in place and make it more of a extensive carriage sidings. I'm not going to have a huge number of locos or rolling stock for some time, so there's no requirement for a fiddle yard. So I think this section, maybe 5 or 6 sidings along here, with perhaps a big sort of maintenance shed. Potentially I could scratch build one and have that covering the full length of this board here, and making it a nice little carriage siding. As we come to the final section here, as I mentioned, this will be a TMD. Over this section here, particularly at the back, there'll be an incline which will take us up to an elevated section. So literally around the full perimeter of the layout will be 2 express lines or high-speed lines, where I have my HSTs, obviously class 800 IEPs I'm looking to purchase as well. As you know, I'm very much looking to replicate the GWR theme, so I'm looking to get the Hornby class 800 IEP when it comes on sale at the end of the year. And that's really it for now. So I'm just pleased that the baseboard has been constructed and now in place, and the real fun can begin. It's even nice to have some temporary track down just to run some trains. But over the next 3 to 4 weeks I'll be laying the permanent track down, and then we'll see things really start to develop and take shape. But as I said, these plans are very much initial. Things may change as I start putting it down on the baseboard, new ideas, That's why again I'm looking for suggestions for those perhaps a bit more experienced than myself with model railways. All ideas are welcome, and I say we're starting here with a very blank canvas, so yeah, it'd be great to have your thoughts, share your views on what we can put in place and see it all come together over the next several years. So for now, thanks again for watching, and I look forward to catching up with you again next month. So take care and bye for now.